Assalamu alaikum dear students, I am your English language teacher Abid Bajwa, and today I will be giving you a detailed description and instruction on report writing, which is a very important task given in paper 1 English language for O levels. Dear students, you must know what report writing is. Report writing is a task that is probably second most important task which is given in O-level exams. Most of the students always get confused about its formats, about its paragraphing, about its content points, and about its tone and register. In this video, I will be giving you a detailed guideline about how to attempt this paper. I will also be telling you that what are some of the features that must be taken into consideration while attempting this paper in O-level exams. I would request you all that if you have joined me in this lecture, you are advised to go back and watch my previous video that will give you a complete and detailed overview of O-level English language paper. So get ready and let's start today's lecture. Welcome back students, and let's move towards our lecture for today. And the name of the lecture is report writing features and checklist. This video is going to help you a lot regarding report writing features and all those essentials which are required to attempt a majestic report for O levels to win the maximum marks. Can you express your ideas? Dear students, on your screen there's a person, there is a picture that I have shared with you. Do you recognize who he is? You are right. As you can see his name as well, he is Albert Einstein, a world famous scientist. According to him, if you cannot explain something, you do not understand it well enough. Why I have quoted his quote over here is that in English language, whatever you are going to pen on your piece of paper, the examiner is going to take it in such a way that he will think that this is your ideas. These are the ideas that you think are essential. So make sure whatever you write is equally considered to your mind capability or ability. So what you need to do, you must produce or create writing skills in such a way that will be impressive, convincing, and inspiring for your readers. Now, to begin with, we must know what is the definition, or what do we actually mean by a report writing. So a report is a concise document that presents information in an organized format for a specific audience and purpose. So first of all, I'll be discussing that what is the format for report writing in O-level exams for English language. Make sure that formats for report writing may vary from purpose to purpose, but in O-levels I'm just sharing the right and the prescribed one which is recommended and advised from all the teachers and examiners, and you must follow it to attempt your paper. So as you can see on your screen that it starts with recipient name. Recipient means you write the designation. It is not advised or recommended that you just pull yourself writing a detailed greetings and something like that. So what is advised here, that you just start it, just name the designation. For example, to the principal or to the police officer, because you are addressing the person, or another way, this is the audience that you are writing a report to. Number 2, as you can see, it's report title, and it is a must. In other words, you can say it's a report subject. It will describe you, it will give a glimpse to all the readers that what is this report going to be and what this is all about. In subsequent 4 lines, what I mean, it's the body. or the mainframe of all those bullet points, including the introduction, bullet point 1, details, happenings, and that must be given in a chronological order in a way that will follow an order in an organized method. After that, after concluding, after writing an ending of that report, you will come to reported by. You will write reported by and put your name there. After your name, you are required to sign the report and you will be writing a date. Now, remember that I have mentioned the date at the end of this report, but it is an option. You can just switch it to the top as well. I mean, the very start of the report can be a date. It depends upon you. It's an option. Now, it is structure for report writing. Right now, I have just given you a glimpse on your screen that will tell you how a report should look like. As you can see now, the recipient, I have given an example. In the recipient thing, I have just started it with the principal, and report title could be a report on a recent accident in our school canteen. And in the opening part, you can introduce yourself, and this is probably the most important thing. When you are going to write a report to an authority or an official, please introduce yourself, who you are, who is going to write a report. Because sometimes the person who is addressed might not know who you are. So he must have an idea who is writing this report, because it will give him an idea. It will give him a easy way to undermine the person who is addressing him. Introduce yourself, and after that state the purpose of writing this report. Purpose is the crucial part in writing a report. If you write a report and you are not sure what is the purpose of writing a report, you are just all of your efforts will end in futility, and it will end in smoke. Make sure your purpose of writing this report must be your priority whenever you write a report. After that comes body of report. Discuss all the given points in detail. Take a help from WH family. I have always been instructing my students, giving them tips that following WH family is probably the most helpful factor that gives you a guideline that to win the maximum marks in report writing. What I mean by WH family is, for example, what? Let's say you are going to talk about an accident that happened, and you are going to write a report to the traffic police officer. An accident. Now, you are talking about an accident, and your purpose is writing a report to the police officer or the authority to take some immediate actions to eradicate the problems in a particular area. So don't you think that this WH family formula is going to give you a direction? For example, what happened, and then when happened, where happened. Remember, we are talking about an accident. So what happened? An accident. When happened? You can give a detail of the dates or the day or the timing as well. Where happened? Now over here you can give him the details about the place or the region in which that accident had happened, how, etc. So these things actually are an extraction from the bullet points. What are bullet points, by the way? The bullet points themselves are made out of these WH things. After this, give any specific details, and please avoid writing a story. Like, do not give a coloring of a story. That do not create an impression to the examiner that you are writing a story, giving a full detailed lengthy narrative descriptions rather than you are writing a report. So you have to be very brief, and you are required to write a summary of the main events or happenings in a chronological order. And by the way, this limit of task is 200 to 300 words. So that will give all you an idea that you are not going to explain them at length. In the ending part, summarize your purpose. Again, you see, summarize your purpose. What you want out of this report. Summarize your purpose here and persuade the authority, for example, the traffic police officer, to fulfill your expected initiative or whatever you want, what your goals are, what are your expectations, what are your recommendations, by the way. And in the signing off part, this includes your name, signature, and date that I have already explained in the previous slide. This is a paper of that report writing. In this paper, report writing was given. So I would like to read the whole task for you so that all of my students would get a better idea how a report writing part in O-level English exams look like and how does it sound like. Directed writing, you are advised to write between 200 and 300 words. All of these things, all of these instructions are well explained in my previous video. Total marks for this part are 30. And what is the task? By the way, this is a past paper. A very popular teacher at your school is leaving after a long and successful career. The staff, students and parents are going to celebrate the teacher's career at a ceremony where the principal will make a thank you speech. The principal asks you to write a report which gives information for the thank you speech. The principal also wants suggestions from you for what else to include the ceremony. Please do not take this, it's not a speech, it is a report, but the examiner has included some information about speech because the principal is planning to arrange a speech for that particular teacher who will be saying goodbye to the school. Now, what is your task? Write your report. You must include the following: the name of the teacher and an outline of teacher's career. In this bullet point, you'll be talking about who the teacher is. See, the name of the teacher is actually who, and an outline of the teacher's career, what he has been doing throughout his educational career of service. Examples of what has made the teacher so popular and successful with students. His interaction, his dealings, his methodology, which he used to share with all of his students. Talk about all these things, and you can include a memorable incident as well. What events the students think should be included in the ceremony and why. All these bullet points, discuss all these points in detail. You should make sure that your report is polite, informative, and report to the principal, and remember to supply a signature and date. See, these things I have already mentioned in the previous slides, that a report must require a signature and date at the end. Now, this is the second part of your lecture, which is named as features for report writing. What are some of the features that must be taken into consideration when any of the students is going to attempt a paper? Students must consider the following. Actually, this is factors, not the factors. Factors, it's a slip of the pen or slip of the typing, it's a typing error. Students must consider the following factors while writing a report. First of all, come out with an exclusive introduction. You know, you must have heard that face is the index of mind. So sometimes your opening lines give a whole detailed analysis to our examiner that what our coming lines are about and what type of or what is the quality of all those incoming lines. State who you are in the introduction part. Reproduce task statement. When I say reproduce task statements, students, it means that just reproduce the situation in which the examiner has put you. Rephrase them and reproduce them and just write 2 to 3 lines only, so that the readers is going to have an idea of the whole body or the whole frame of that report. Purpose. Clearly state your purpose. I have already talked much about it. Convey essential details about that are directly or indirectly related to your purpose. And one of the purposes of a report writing is to inform or persuade your audience, maybe your principal, maybe the police officer, or maybe manager of an organization. Bullet points elaborate all given points, logically structured and developed. Now, we have talked volumes about tone, register. You already know what they are. So, meaning all of these things are related to your language. Language or tone must be formal, polite, and objective. Sometimes objective is not a must. Sometimes a report is given to you on such a genre that you need to write in a subjective way. So, but try to be objective. The tone can be persuasive, suggestive, informative. It depends upon you that if you dig deeper to the task which is given to or assigned to you, you'll come to know what type of tone can be useful or can be utilized there. Format, I have just given you example. Follow proper report format. Structure and main body of the report writing should be according to the standards which have been explained. Situation, do not forget about the situation. Just put yourself in examiner's shoes, and then you'll come to know what are his expectations from you. Then you'll be able to justify and to develop all those given points in an impressive way. What are the problems which can be included in a situation or of a report? Identification. Identify the problems, and you can talk about the effects that come out of those problems. And then in the situation part, you can also suggest and recommend ways that can be used to eradicate those problems. Audience, you must know who your audience are, because this will guide you what type of language you are using. Obviously, it's a recommendation that in report writing always use a formal language. Tone should be formal, polite and plain. In language part, you must be careful with your grammar, sentence structure, vocabulary, spelling. You need to be very careful of the spelling mistakes. Your vocabulary you use must be in accordance with the expectations of tone and register, and then end it properly. Sum up the main purpose, give a short summary of all those points, and then recommendations and suggestions. Now I'm going to give you a checklist. This checklist, if used in an emphatic way, I promise you, I am just giving you my word, that if you will follow this checklist, you will be able to write a majestic report writing. Number one, have I read the instructions of the task carefully? And then in the front you can see there are two options given, yes, no. Just imagine that this is the checklist you will be taking into consideration when you are writing a report for O-levels exam. Have I read the instruction of the task carefully? If yes, tick yes. If no, no. Because those people, and then I want you to please count all the no's and all the yeses. More yeses you have, more quality and more utilized and impressive sort of report writing you will be able to write, and more no's you will gather, meaning to say more negative impact you are going to have in your report writing. Again, have I read the instruction of the task carefully? Yes or no? Do I know appropriate report writing format? Yes, I know, because it's been explained right now. If no, I suggest you to go back and learn it again. I will plan to write around 200 to 300 words. That is a part of the instructions given for task writing. Do I know the purpose of the writing this report? If no, all of your efforts, you are plowing the sand. If you do not know the purpose of writing a report, you are plowing the sand, because nothing comes out of nothing. Informal, inform, persuade, complain, suggest. So these can be, I have just given some suggestions that can be your purpose of report. Do I know who I am writing for? Again, this is audience. You must know who your audience are. Do I know the tone I should use? And then, do I plan to develop all given bullet points? I have seen students, and this is probably the most commonly spreading mistakes among all those students who are appearing in O-level exams, that they are unable to justify and develop the given bullet points. Remember, every given bullet point is going to bring you 5 marks. So you need to justify all of them in a proper way. Will I avoid mistakes of spellings, punctuation and grammar? I will plan to write around 200 to 300 words. Again, this is given. Am I clear about situation, register, tone, etc.? Will I include the recipient, title, date, name and signature? Will I review my report at the end? I have always been recommending my students that when you are done with any of the writing task, it is a must that start from the first word and then read everything, so that, and I'm telling you, you are going to come across so many mistakes that you can work on. Thanks for watching. That was all for report writing. I hope you have learned something useful for it. If you have any question, please feel free to write me an email at abidbajwa@hotmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me at my given number. Take care, and I'll see you very soon with a new task, a new English language task to explain or further instructions. Thank you very much. Bye.